Welcome back to The Edge. Leaked over at Google, we are losing the AI battle. Could the 10 blue links also be going away? There is more AI news to cover than ever before, and we're going to try. You're listening to News from The Edge for the week of May 8th, 2023, here on Edge of the Web Radio.
From the Edge of the Web studios, here's what we're looking at this week.
This is The Edge. I'm your host, Aaron Sparks. Thanks for joining as we cover so much on the SEO and digital marketing front each and every week, separate from our weekly interview series where we talk to some fantastic influencers from around the planet when it comes down to digital marketing. But this show is for the news, and we're delivering it each and every week, trying to drop every Tuesday. We record on Monday, and we talk more and more about AI because I guess that's the thing right now. But you want to check out all the shows that we've done over at edgeofthewebradio.com. That's edgeofthewebradio.com. This is the Site Strategics Digital Marketing News Desk of Edge of the Web. We're proud to have our own firm as the title sponsor this week, as title sponsor for Edge. Check out what we do over at sitestrategics.com. We're one of the top SEOs in the country here. We're constant learners, thus the show that we do here, and have been doing it for the last 10 years. And that's why we do it. And we'll talk a little bit more about what we do at our company. But thanks for joining the sponsorship ranks. I'm actually thanking myself as I'm saying this.
You are thanking yourself.
So do you have to say you're welcome to yourself?
You're welcome.
There you go.
Exactly. See? How were the stats last month? Oh, they were fantastic, fantastic downloads. Let me show you. So I probably have this conversation off air, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Joining me in the booth is Jacob Mann. How you doing, sir?
I am doing just fine. Thank you.
Excellent. That is Jacob Mann, the creative studio director over here.
Hello.
Wave to the family. On the line from Israel is the indomitable Mordy Oberstein, head of SEO branding over at Wix. Sir, how are you doing?
Hi. So Google's got a leak, huh?
Yeah.
Then why do they call a plumber?
Yeah, we're gonna throw a snare drum in that
Good.
one.
Good way to start this up.
I might just edit that joke out.
No,
I respect
out of all
our
the things I
listeners too
say,
much.
that's what you're editing out.
Because I respect the listeners, Morty.
We're very sorry.
But I've said things on this podcast, and I listen later. I'm like, oh my god, they left that in.
Offensive is okay. Terrible. Like, that's not even dad joke level, man. That was
pretty bad.
That was
I
right.
have this. They have a leak. Did they flush? No. Not
Sorry,
better.
No, it's not.
All right.
Now I got to leave this one in just to share with my kids how bad of a dad joke it can actually be. So at least I didn't.
I was gonna say how bad of a dad I am.
Oh no,
but
no,
yeah,
just a dad
that's it.
joke. No. Oh,
okay.
It could be a joke. I have no idea. Hey, what's no joke over at Google? There was a leaked Google memo. They actually admit defeat by open source AI. This is over at the Search Engine Journal by Roger Monti. There is a leaked memo that actually acknowledges that Google cannot compete against open source AI and suggests a pretty surprising tactic to actually regain dominance. Go check out this article. It's pretty deep. They actually wrote in this article that was leaked, we've done a lot of looking over our shoulders at OpenAI. Who will cross the next milestone? What will be the next move? But the uncomfortable truth is we're not positioned to win this arms race, and neither is OpenAI. This is what's interesting here. While we've been squabbling, a third faction has been quietly eating our lunch. Of course, I'm talking about open source. Plainly put, they're lapping us. Things we consider major open problems are solved and in the people's hands today. Now, if you don't know the difference between open source and closed, right? You have open source, which is community oriented, where you can have a lot of contributions very quickly from people around the planet, as opposed to a closed environment where you are pretty much behind a gated environment and software development is not for public consumption or public discourse. Well, the bulk of this memo actually is spent describing how Google is outplayed by open source. And they said, while our models still hold a slight edge in terms of quality, the gap is closing astonishingly quickly. Open source models are faster, more customizable, more private, and more pound for pound capable. They're doing things with $100 and 13, I think, billion parameters that we struggle with $10 million and 540 billion parameters. It's a lot of parameters. I'm assuming that's what they're meaning there. But they're doing these things in weeks, not months. Now, isn't this interesting is that, and we kind of talked about that a long time ago, that the only competitor to Google would be the open source environment because, I mean, we saw Bitcoin, we saw blockchain happening, and we talked about that a little bit. It's just the concept of this non-border currency space where you move this into an open environment where people can contribute. There was a leak, check this out, of source code in March from Meta called Llama, that's Llama, and within days and weeks, the global open source community developed all of the building parts necessary to create Bard and ChatGPT clones in a couple of weeks. Now, you talk about something that has an exponential growth right here. If the entire coding community jumps in and starts building these AI environments, these generative AI environments, right, without any type of regulation whatsoever, that's the brush fire right there. Is that at least inside of a closed environment, you have somebody accountable for the genesis of our AI overlords. But now open source is right there about to lap Google. What's happening here? Could this be the Terminator Judgment Day that we were talking about?
I just told OpenAI to write code to create a new OpenAI, and I'm going to have that one do it.
There you go.
Every time one's created, it's going to try to create a better one.
See?
Should take about 2 weeks, and we're all going to be gone.
So there was a couple of things that they were talking about this in the memos. Is astonishing that it got leaked like this, but we've known that they've been in red alert status for a while here. But the scale of open source actually scares Google, and that's a big company to be scared. AI is what we're talking about today on The Edge here. Mordy, thoughts about Google's positioning there?
It's interesting because I don't know if we're going to get to this later.
Yeah.
But there was an interview with Jake Tapper and the former godfather of Google's AI, where he was talking about the need for regulation because, and I don't know how I'm saying this because he was saying this legit, because he's worried about the AI taking over.
Yeah.
He's legitimate. I swear to God, I was actually like scared for a few minutes because like this was the dude over at Google and he was legitimately scared. So I guess I should be scared too.
I mean,
but how do you have regulation in an environment like that? If we're talking about the genesis of AI here, what you're going to end up with are a bunch of cons. Little Star Trek joke for you there.
Oh, Lord.
Cut. Get it? Genesis Project. Yeah.
He was actually sitting on that for at least...
I was sitting on that for like 3 minutes. Because I had no need to go back to the term Genesis.
So you got a lot of people that are actually authorities in the big tech space going, hey, can we halt this? Can we halt this? Can we slow the roll? Oh, the gentleman's name, who was the godfather of AI.
I'll tell you as I...
All right, you come back around to that.
Arnold.
Jeffrey Hinton.
Okay. And he actually quit Google, and only after resigning, he's actually able to freely share his thoughts about what the heck he was actually contributing and what he created. There's a lot of concerns here. And the thing...
He literally thought we're not going to be able to control it. And his point about regulation was that's a bigger problem because, you know, let's say the U.S. and Canada regulate.
Right.
But is China and Iran, are they going to regulate?
Nope.
Nope.
And I heard the phrase open source, I mean, the AI arms race is something that actually really kind of tweaked me there, because if we're seeing anything, we're seeing nations actually trying to scoop this up very quickly and figure out how they can actually utilize it for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no chance any of those nations will use it against their own citizens.
Of course not.
No.
All right. So not to be complete downer here on our first article. Hey, just want to let you know that we are sponsored by Site Strategics, where we're focused on omni-channel delivery of content, delivery of media for our clients. And we're a 19-year-old organization delivering digital marketing to the Midwest and very well to you. So if you're interested in what we can do for you and what kind of successes that we actually do have, just give us a shout over at sitestrategics.com, or just pick up the phone and give us a call at 877-736-4932. All right. There was our first downer. Let's just jump over to the Wall Street Journal, which is always a positive environment. Google plans to make search more personal with AI chat and video clips. All right. Yeah, so Google is shifting the way it presents search results, and the social channels that we all watch are full right now of observations on just this very thing. They're shifting away from how it's actually going to be presenting its search results and incorporating different conversations with artificial intelligence, along with more short video and social media posts in its search results. This was a departure from the list of website results that has made it its dominant search engine for the longest time. We knew that change was afoot. We've been talking about multimodal changes for the longest time here for the last year. But now we're talking about something else. We're talking about AI chatbots actually interacting with you more and more in the search results. So you're not actually just not only starting one up as a sidebar, it's going to be part of the search result. Is that what I'm reading here?
We don't know what it's going to be. It's all speculation. Who knows?
Well, Glenn Gabe actually.
We'll know in 2 days.
Yeah,
because Google I/O is in 2 days.
Open source will let us know.
One day.
Glenn Gabe actually pointed out
analysis about this. Check out a special episode of the Surfs Up podcast where Crystal and I will be covering the updates from Google I/O as produced by Edge of the Web Media Consulting.
Oh, LLC. See how he did that? See, I was about to charge him for that gratuitous plug, but he just...
I bring it right back. Bring it right back. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, Morty. Swallow it whole.
Oh, jeez.
Can I say?
Yes.
Can I say, if this is the future of search engines, color me not excited.
Is that one of the Crayola 24?
That's on the Crayola 24.
Yes, not excited. It's also known as beige.
Beige.
Not excited.
They plan to make its search engine more visual, snackable, personal, and human. That last one?
How about this? How about making more information more accessible to what I want?
Yeah,
how about that first?
How about that as opposed to giving
because if I want personal attention, I will talk to my wife and not get that either, but I'll at least attempt it. At least attempt to get the personal attention.
Well, everybody wants an AI bot for themselves. You saw iRobot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I/O Developer is a conference this week, and the search giant is expected to debut new features that allow users to carry out conversations with the artificial intelligence program at Project Codename Magi and other
Maggie.
Or Maggie.
Magi.
Stop it. Other people are actually familiar with this matter. For years, Alphabet's, Google's parent company, has been making minimal tweaks to the look and feel of search. But that time is over. And especially tying into our previous article, they've got to make radical changes to stay valuable to consumers, right? Because we're seeing a lot of these different AI programs, and we're also seeing GPT-4 really jumping out right now. And it's making a huge wake because it's actually processing real-time data, not data that was 2021. So now we're seeing a heck of a lot of things happen very, very, very quickly.
Okay, but it kind of feels to me that Google's trying to become like a social app.
Yeah.
More visual, more personal. But I feel like
they could call it Google Plus.
When other search, yes, that's a great idea. Plus.
All right, so
times 2 squared.
But let me ask you guys something. Let's pretend we could jump into the future 10 years and see how search works. And it could be it could be someone else, it could be Google, someone else. I feel like even if we could look at it and it's significantly different than today, I don't think Google could make that jump. I think that people like Mordy is like, he's picking out a special crayon here.
Mm-hmm.
Colored me not interested. Google has to balance between delivering what people are used to, but trying to be that next cutting edge thing.
Right.
It's almost as if any of us could start a search results company that's AI generated with videos, and that would surpass Google. But if Google did it, would be like, oh, I hate this. I feel like they're in this really weird spot where how do you jump but not too far?
But I also feel like they're just trying to do to social media outlets what other lesser search engines try to do to them.
Sure.
Which is beat them at their own game. You're not going to beat TikTok at its own game. You're not going to beat other social media platforms. Instagram.
MySpace.
at its own, yes,
Friendster.
at its own game. You're not going to be Tinder? Is that a thing?
I wouldn't know.
It's very
I
personal.
don't know
It's very
either.
personal.
I will be honest with you. I have a very, very vague idea of what Tinder
I'm going to
actually
swipe
does.
to the right here. All right, let's keep on going. You're right. Is that it's trying to do too much, and it's trying to meet a consumer's mindset, and the consumers have been oriented towards template links for a long time. We like our featured snippets, right? But you radically change the search environment, right? Then you're in a space where you're departing from the consumer's trust into another space. And then on top of that, consumer's trust is getting a little bit jaded because of mistakes that are being made right now with, the experimental, but I mean, Magi's coming at us. We've got Bard there that really didn't get off the ground quite well. So, I mean, there's also, the
Where's
mentality
Mom?
of, hey, you can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. Well, I mean, if you're breaking that over trust, then you got a problem here is that they could very well be kind of jumping the shark to use an analogy there.
It's just not. I love that analogy, by the way. Happy days are yours and mine. I just don't get it. There was all this talk about Mum back, I don't know, was it 2-3 years ago already?
Yep.
And all we got out of Mum is a bunch of stuff about Google Lens that no one actually cares about. But when I go to the SERP, if I Google Yogi Berra is a baseball player. He's just somebody who is very famous for saying things like, you could observe a lot just by watching.
Yeah.
Right? Or ain't over till it's over.
Hey, boo-boo.
Stop it.
They built a cartoon off him because they thought he was an idiot. But when you go to Google and there's all these he's like a cultural icon in the US at least. And there's so much layers of information you want to get about Yogi Berra.
Right.
All you get when you go to the SERP, I don't say all you get because it is a lot. And I don't mean to put it down. A bunch of pictures, a link to his stats, when he was born, when he died, and a link to a YouTube video. I know nothing. Like, I wanted to dive here. Give me a way to dive into him as a cultural icon, dive into him as a baseball player, dive into all the different facets of Yogi Berra, of yogiism. And let me explore that. And let me understand that. And essentially, what you're giving me is a bunch of top-level information. Same thing for Babe Ruth. You Google Babe Ruth, you get the same thing. A bunch of stats, a picture of the dude, a video comparing him to other players. Like, there's so much controversy around Babe Ruth. Like, Is he the best baseball player ever? Yes or no? What does he mean as an icon? What does he mean to the game of baseball? Why is he significant? None of that's on the SERP.
You have to go deeper and deeper in and
parse all that out for me.
If you want it personalized.
That's what I want. I just want information, Google. I don't want TikTok. I don't want to see what people are eating for lunch. I hate TikTok. I hate seeing what people eat for lunch. I don't care about visual. I want information.
But Google disagrees, and that's why they're going to lose that. You're talking about however we could imagine Google losing dominance, that would be it. They go beyond what the consumers are wanting from them, and they try to stretch themselves into all these different areas. So we're in the discourse with AI generative and just the concept of AI around, right? They're going to go too far, and we're going to have a fragmented environment, just like cable TV, right?
I should go one step further with this.
Go for it.
You look at entities, which we haven't talked a lot about lately, other than our sponsorship from InLinks, because entity SEO is important. If you look at entities, Oprah, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, what's fundamentally changed in terms of what's Google showing us over the last, 2-3 years?
Well, fundamentally?
Not much.
It's gaining more and more trust on the entity itself, and it's giving us more of a rich tapestry of information.
Can it go deeper? Like Google Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Does it give you like a carousel of iconic moments? No. Gives you the same information it's been showing you, maybe formatted a little bit differently.
It's prettier.
But yeah, in the past 2-3 years. It almost feels like to me, and is it going out? It's a hot take, whatever. The knowledge graph is like slow down.
That's interesting. Huh.
I do say interesting things. Whether or not they're crazy or not, I don't know.
Well, here's something crazy.
But it is interesting to think about.
Here's something crazy. Warren Buffett jumped into discussion as they were talking about, I think there was a financials discussion. Billionaire investor Warren Buffett actually expressed his concern over the rise of artificial intelligence on Saturday and compared the rise of the technology to the creation of the atom bomb. Buffett and his partner, Charlie Munger, discussed their outlooks on tech and AI during a wide-ranging discussion at Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting in Omaha, Nebraska. Buffett, who said he got a lesson on ChatGPT from his buddy, Bill Gates, one of the founders of Microsoft, voices fears over the rapidly evolving programs. So we have a couple of different articles, one from New York Post. What was the other one from? Anyway, go check that out. You can easily see that around. But here's the deal is that you got some major players in the field going, all right, there's some serious stuff here. There really is. He was actually impressed by the way that chatbot was able to do a number of different things, check legal opinions and stuff like that. He also expressed his worries, quoting, "I know we won't be able to uninvent it." You know, we did invent it for very, very good reasons, and also the atomic bomb in World War II. That's not a harbinger of doom. I don't know what is, guys. All right, so point being is that there's a lot happening here in the AI front discussion here. Google's trying to respond, but there's some very, very cool tools out there. Quickly going through an AI barrage here of some news. OpenAI has a new application. It's text to 3D modeling. Check this thing out. We're going to, yeah, there you go. So they've got it's called Shape E. It's generating conditional 3D implicit functions. They actually presenting a new generative model for 3D assets. Unlike recent work on 3D generative models, which produce a single output representation, Shape E directly generates the parameters of implicit functions that can actually be rendered both textured meshes and neural radiance fields.
Is that a quote from Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Jordy, put your banana clip back on.
Jordy, take care of the nuclear nuance radiator fields, or the Klingons get us.
So another announcement, May 4th, from Microsoft Bing, announcing a new wave of AI innovation with Microsoft Bing and Edge. The corporate vice president and consumer chief marketing officer, Yusuf Mehdi, actually said, "Today I'm thrilled to announce that we are moving to the next generation of AI-powered Bing and Edge to transform the largest category of software in the world, search, by greatly expanding the vision and capabilities we think of as your co-pilot of the web." So they're opening up Bing to more people by moving from a limited preview to open preview and eliminating the wait list completely. So that's gone. They're moving from text-only search and chat to one that is incredibly more visual, i.e., the same article that we were just talking about regarding Google, with rich image and video answers, and coming shortly, new multimodal support. I'm hearing Bing jumping on this, guys. And boy, if this is not the scenario we were all wondering what Bing was going to be doing here, well, this could very well be it. They're moving in from single-use chat sessions to multi-session productivity experiences with chat history and persistent chats within Edge, opening up platform capabilities so developers and third parties can build on top of the Bing Edge to be able to help people take actions on their queries and complete tasks. So they're doubling down as well. There's a huge amount of things that are happening, and even OpenAI is actually doing a U-turn. They're not training GPT-4 on API customer data. This is from a search engine journal by Matt Southern. The fact of the matter is there's so much coming at us right now. You've got to pay attention. So we're going to be going through kind of an AI blitz of information here on the show. We have to be able to give you guys what the hell's going on out there. Yes, sir.
What? Oh, no, wait. You said you're going to go through a blitz.
Okay, all right. So here's another blitz. All right. OpenAI's U-turn. They're not training on GPT-4 anymore. They actually stopped using customer data sent via APIs for training language. In fact, if you're familiar with Databricks, Databricks actually developed another AI generative process where they actually built and trained the AI environment with a good deal of professional answers that were much more long form answers for training. So no longer is OpenAI trying to train off of brief answers or brief spurts from the consumers. They're actually looking at training it with a whole nother fleet of deeper answers and deeper knowledge. So OpenAI is doing this. Check this out. This is a really cool tool that Lily Ray actually pinged on Twitter, ChatPDF. Check this thing out. She said, you know what? If you always had a tough time or just didn't want to do the summary of your SEO audit, ChatPDF can actually do just that. It will actually take your statistics from your SEO audit and turn it into summarized and actionable points. Oh my God! The tools are among us. They're everywhere. So,
But is it right?
it doesn't matter.
Can it clean my floor? Can it mop my floor?
It cannot, because that's not part of an
Well,
SEO audit. That's more of your floors audit.
Or a
Or
floor
an
audit.
audit on what the kids have done to your kitchen, because I've seen pictures. It's pretty scary what they do with cereal. Man.
They destroy everything. Everything.
So Ray Kurzweil rebutes calls to actually pause for AI research. This is Roger Monti over at Search Engine Journal. Yet another article during our AI Blitz here to kind of round this out. Ray Kurzweil writes that pausing AI research is impractical and deprives humanity of profound benefits. So he's a noted futurist and a former director of engineering at Google. He published a rebuttal to that letter that we referred to, calling for a pause on AI research, offering reasons why the proposal is impractical and deprives, says he, humanity, medical breakthroughs and innovations that profoundly benefit humanity. There's everything. Anything that you possibly want, all spectrums of the conversation here. There's so much coming at you.
What's the truth? What's the truth?
You're going to have to ask ChatGPT.
You're going to have to, because
It's the only one that knows the truth now.
It's like bonkers already.
it really is. It really is. So we did mention Jake Tapper's point. He interviewed Jeffrey Hinton, and it's very worth the dive into the interview, because this is a man who's got some serious concerns about what his career has actually been able to generate. So there's a huge dialogue, folks, here in this, and you should be paying attention to it. Edge listeners, we are going to focus on AI in a separate section of this show more and more and more, because you need to know the tools that are out there, because so many bloody tools for SEO use, but you got to use them responsibly. You have to check what the output is regularly, but you need to be knowing what's happening in this universe of search and content, because you got to get the accurate content out there. And I think more and more, you got to know what the pulse of this is. So that said, I'm going to spin right back around, because you know what? Barry Blast is among us. Before anything else. Oh. We have the official Barry Blast video intro. You got to check that out.
You gotta turn it into like a little clip, throw it on Twitter.
Hey, you know what? We are actually proud to have InLinks as a sponsor of Edge of the Web. You know that entities play a major role in how we search and how search engines understand and rank content. We were just talking about that today. Check out InLinks over at edgeofthewebradio.com/InLinks. Fantastic award-winning software in entity SEO. Keywords are a thing of the past. You got to know what you're writing about and the related subjects and knowledge that consumers are looking for. And they give you some expert level data to be able to build your content around these concepts. So go over to edgeofthewebradio.com/InLinks today to claim your free InLinks account and start creating content that will outperform your competitors. All right, Barry Blast. Number one on deck here from Google. Video structured data is no longer required in the descriptions there. So if you've been pushing through content on your structured data, the descriptions of the video are no longer required, says Google. They actually updated the Google structured data to say the description property is no longer required. Instead, Google moved the description property item to the recommended section. So as it's looking at structured data, it knows what the heck that is. You don't have to go and continue to write in that structured data description field. How about that? That's some crescendoed content right here at the end of an entire AI deluge.
It's not AI, I don't care. Or have the AI write the descriptions, or have the AI write the structured data code and make sure that it's not wrong, because that's happened.
It has happened. Always check your AI.
Always go back to the AI.
That's not what I said. Last point from the Barry Blast over there. Google. It's a terrible idea to disavow links based on third-party metrics. John Mueller.
I put this in there for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For you. Yep.
He said it's a terrible idea to disavow links based on metrics from a third-party tool. In fact, John is not a fan of disavowing links in most cases. Can we put the nail in this coffin? All right. John,
Yes, please.
He was asked if we should disavow links based on the pages being under a certain score from a third-party tool. John says no. He wrote on Twitter, that seems like a terrible idea. Also, none of these metrics are things Google cares about, as any SEO will tell you, hopefully. So check out the tweets from John Mueller. He said, stop doing disavow. Don't work on it from third-party tools. Are we done with disavow? Are we finally done here?
Are you done? I put it in because you disavow like a ton of stuff.
No, we don't. We stopped a long time
I've
ago.
had conversations on this podcast where you're like, yeah, it's, we go through it, disavow it, disavow.
But we stopped. We stopped about,
Oh, you stopped?
We stopped about
Okay.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah, the last time we talked about it, probably 2.5 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah, go back to a conversation we had when we were disavowing. Yeah.
I know, I'm just remembering,
We
hey,
were-
good memory.
We
See?
were, yeah, you
See?
do. We were watching.
I remember things.
We were watching, you know what? We were testing it out, and it's like, you know what? We're just not seeing the evidence that this thing is actually doing anything. So we shelved it. We grandfathered that thing in, and you know, we're done.
I'm just making sure.
Now,
Guys, I don't remember what I ate for breakfast, but you mentioned some like silly things you do for SEO. I'll remember for years.
It's gonna come and haunt me. I think it is.
Inside joke. Just no index it.
Just no index it.
Just no index it.
And just redirect it without any knowledge.
Just no canonicalize it or no index it.
All right. Hey, SEO Chat on Twitter. Hashtag SEO Chat every Thursday,
Yes.
1 p.m. Eastern. What's going on this week?
Keyword research. Adam Heitzman is talking about keyword research.
All right.
He's
Fantastic.
also a Bengals fan, and the Bengals suck.
Wow.
I think people will bring tips about keyword research. So come learn about keyword research. I will bring salt about all the things I don't like about
The Bengals.
keyword research.
Oh, okay. Fine.
And the Bengals.
Hey, keyword research is still a worthy exercise as opposed to disavow.
It is. No. You must research.
You-
I think most of the time.
And don't use ChatGPT to do it.
Oh, no, actually, I think it's one of the things you could probably use ChatGPT for is to tell me some concepts that are similar to this. What are some keywords might be related to this? I think that's actually a better way of using ChatGPT than like, oh, write this website content for me.
And people do that. All right. So
Find
this
me a
is
spouse.
This is not, you say buy me a spouse?
I didn't say buy, I said find.
All right. So this is
It
not
works both
What
ways.
should I
This
say
is-
on a date? Tell me, ChatGPT. That's a great prompt. What should I say on
God.
a date?
Oh my God, the Cyrano de Berger chat. There we go. How about that? How about that?
Yeah, how about them apples?
All right, so this is not the AI episode. We are going to consolidate this down, but we got to get this to you regularly. So we are going to cordon off AI discussions into its own section here. So we're going to have news, AI, and Berry Blast.
Whew, there's too much going on.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so that said, make sure you check out the second episode of the Arij Abu Ali interview that we had. And who's going to be on deck here? Who do we have? We got Martha Van Berkel, actually, from Schema App as well. So got a number of different people coming in for our interview. So check that out. From all of us over at Edge, thanks for listening. Thanks for, especially this one, because this one went a good deal wild. But
Sorry.
that's okay. Hey, we appreciate.
Sorry.
Oh, well, we appreciate them, not you. But hey.
By the way, if you want, oh wow, it keeps going. ChatGPT's got a lot of advice about what you stay on dates.
You're not going to share one, right?
Come on, give us
I
one.
mean,
Give us one.
All right. When it comes to conversation on a date, it's important to be genuine, engaging, and respectful. Here are some tips on what to say. Show interest. Ask open-ended questions to get to know your date better. Inquire about their hobbies, interests, and passions. Show genuine curiosity. Actively listen to their responses. Share experiences. Find common ground. Be positive. Be authentic. Sense of humor. Respectful topic. Active listening. None of which I've done on dates, and I still got married.
Nothing says active listening like sitting there typing on your phone to figure out what to say next. What are you doing over there? Nothing.
She said this, Chet. What should I said that? All right. We're going to play us off here. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Remember, do not be a cyber driftwood. We will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.